Welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast, where we discuss and analyze your favorite marble sports. From JMR Marble League to I'll Go Do tournaments, we'll make sure you never miss the action. All marble sports, all the time, right here on the MSW Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Marble Sports Worldwide Podcast. My name is Brendan.
And I'm Commander Wof.
Okay. Oh,
That way for
Welcome to the show, guys. Thank you for going along with that, Mr. Wof.
Of course.
But yeah, we're in an interesting time in the world of marble sports. Gel is on a little hiatus. He was sick, and then he's on vacation and whatnot. So we haven't had a lot of JMR related content recently, but there's still a lot of other stuff in the community to cover. And yeah, we missed a couple weeks. You know, college has been quite busy for me. It really stepped up last couple of weeks. Just, man, studying, getting no sleep. It's all hitting me now. So it's good to be back with you guys. Good to be back here with Wof doing the show. Before we get into everything, I will say today I bought the new Mario Party game, Mario Party Superstars. And normally I don't buy lots of new games anymore. Because I grind Geometry Dash. That's like my thing. So I usually don't buy any new games because I'm like, when am I going to really play this game? Because if I can play games, I'll just play GD. But this game it was made so well. It finally dropped back to the old style of Mario Party, like back in the old days, like DS version and the versions before. The style they played is finally the style that they brought back with this particular Mario Party. So I was like, I gotta get this. This is like nostalgia. The minigame pack is fire. So I bought this Mario Party, and I've been playing it. I played it a little today, actually, when I should have done homework, but I played it, and it's good. It's good. You know, they got the 20 coins for the star thing back, which sounds like a small thing, but they didn't do that for, like, so many Mario Parties, and it was very annoying. It's every man for themselves. You don't travel in that stupid little car that you did for, like, Mario Party 8 through 10, and you click the mini stars, which was an okay idea. I just didn't like it. I liked traveling alone and picking up the stars with the coins. They have a lot more depth to the boards. There's a lot more going on the board. There's a lot of different types of spaces. There's a lot of different types of events. So it doesn't feel like boring and like you've exhausted all the possibilities of the board in like a couple playthroughs. It feels like it really is always going to be kind of crazy out there. So, and I'm only played the first board, which is like the easiest, most tame one, and it's already like, wow, a lot going on here. So highly recommend that game if you're into Mario Party and then you kind of slacked off because you realized that like Mario Party Island Tour was garbage. Mario Party Super Mario Party was the recent Mario Parties for like the Wii U were also but this one comes back strong, so highly recommend it. And if you've never played Mario Party, we'll start there, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty much all the things I can think of to say for my life. Wow.
Well, I guess on my end, I guess just a few things. One, like if this episode gets edited in the timely manner and it comes out on Friday, then this episode will be releasing on my birthday, which is pretty cool.
Happy birthday, Wof!
Thank you. I'll be turning 24.
That's old.
Fine. Yeah, I'm an old man now. I will soon be an old man. Everyone knows that 23, 24 is when you become an old man.
You're
obviously
gonna die soon.
Yep.
Dude, think about it. Like 24, double that, 48. That's like 50. 50, you're already in the back half. Add like 20 more years, you could be dead. You don't have that much long to go. You better make the most of these next few years. Because it's ticking down. It's timing out soon. You
the
better
clock-
get that Marble Con going.
Yes, indeed. The clock marches ever onward. And other things in my life aside from school, of course.
And dying.
I recently and dying soon. I recently finished Pokemon Sun and Moon. I was watching it with
Sun
Flair,
and
and
Moon. You have to say it like this, Wof. I recently finished Pokemon Sun and Moon, because that's how you should say it.
Sun and Moon.
It's so funny to hear you try to do it.
But like, it was honestly like really good. Like, it is easily probably I would say my favorite Pokemon generation in terms of the anime, just because like it had the best story. Like, they just seemed to really step up everything. It was honestly quite an emotional journey. Unfortunately, I knew the spoilers for like how the league ended. The internet wouldn't shut up about it when it happened like 2 years ago, but still, it was amazing to see. I guess the other piece of news, and I don't think we brought this up yet, which is, so it's a bit late, but S-Man, one of our editors, as you may know, actually had to step down from the team because he was just life is getting too hectic and chaotic for him, and so he doesn't have time to be an editor anymore. So yeah, that's happened. We wish him the best, but that does mean there's a new slot open. Case, and I did ask him, and he did say that he would prefer to have someone to alternate with. So if you have experience with audio editing, like just nothing major, but like if you do, like maybe come help us out. That'd be nice. Like our show doesn't make money, so it would be an unpaid thing. It would be like just like everyone else. We all do this just for passion. So if you have the time and the desire to help out, we would definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. We don't make a lot. We don't make money for like to make this a paid position, unfortunately. I mean, one day maybe. One day in the future, if Marvel, and that depends on Marble Sports' growth, right? The more, if millions of people were into Marble Sports instead of just hundreds of thousands, then we would probably have more listeners, and that chance of making money would go up a little bit. But for now, the Marble Sports is still pretty small in the grand scheme of things, so that will be some time before that becomes viable. But for now, yeah, it's if you really like the show and you want to see it keep going, please do. If you want to be involved with that, because like if we don't have editors, we probably won't have time to keep doing the show, because we have all we can do to do this part of the show where we record it and prepare that, and then so the editor then has all he can do to do his part, whereas to edit it, which they both of them take about the same amount of time in their respective places. So yeah, just putting that out there. Kaysen has been doing, we thank him so much, and S-Man, they've been doing such a great job keeping this show alive. They're the reason we're still going, because me and Wof just don't have the time to do the editing, so they've been they're the reason that they're still going and going and going. So
yeah,
please, if you're interested, let us know and we'll talk to you about it. With that being said, though, this intro has gone on quite long. We have some stuff to talk about today, even in the din of the dull moment of Marble Sports with JMR kind of quiet. We just still have some things to mention. So let's get to the news with Johnny Marble, and we'll see you on the other side.
Marble Sports fans! I am Commander Wolf here with the Marble Sports Worldwide News. Yes, that's right, I'm back again. Couldn't get a hold of Johnny, so I'll be doing the news this week. We have a lot of news for you, so let's get right into it. Race 3 of the RMLB League took place at the Beaverton Corners course, and things were quite interesting right out of the gate, as Duchess 2 stalled at the start line, leaving them a lap behind once they finally started rolling. The windy course also posed a great challenge for the racers, as a marble could easily get caught on the wall and lose all of their momentum. After some intense back and forth, Tornado came in first, followed by T-Bot in second and Skunk in third. Next up is Race 4 at the Camber Canyon Raceway, which featured several wide turns that really tested the marble's control and maneuverability. The racing was truly fierce, and in the end, T-Bot took home first, followed by Fleur de Lis in second and Fury in third. Then we have Race 5 at the Mibs Express Raceway, the most challenging course from Season 2 with its infamous narrow chicane and bank turn at the start. It didn't take long to see why it's so infamous, as Raging Relic got stuck at the bank turn on lap 4, though they were only stuck for one lap, so it could have been much worse. Surprisingly, the race continued without any further incidents, and it ended with Sacred Snow in first, Fury in second, and Fleur de Lis in third. And now for the final race at the RML Marble Speedway, a unique course with its large glass bridge that leads to 2 alternating paths. The race was incredibly one-sided, as Sacred Snow grew a substantial lead over the rest of the competition, even lapped 5 other marbles. After they cruised to a very safe victory, they were followed by Tornado in second by nearly 10 seconds, with Fury rounding out the podium in third. And now for the overall results. After 6 intense races, Sacred Snow took home the gold, followed by Fury with the silver and T-Bot with the bronze. But the awards aren't done yet, as the top 6 get to move on to the A-League. Along with the 3 podium finishers, Tornado, Fleur de Lis, and Skunk will all be moving on to compete in the A-League in Season 3. Congratulations to them, and to the Marbles who didn't quite make it, we wish you the best of luck next season. Well, that was the news, and I'm glad you stuck with me. I'm Commander Wolf, you are the best fans in the world. Let's kick it on back with the podcast.
We are back from the news, everybody. Thank you, Johnny Marvel, for giving us this week's news. I don't know what this week's news would even entail, except, I guess, the Racing Marble League. Hopefully some of that will be in there, because it was the elite race. And that was fun.
Yeah, like last week's episode, I couldn't get back from Johnny, so that news I wrote for last week hasn't been done yet, so maybe that's put here if I can get the news from him.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You'll hear something. You will hear some voices saying some things. How about that? I don't even know. It's already happened too. I'm talking about something that's already occurred earlier on in the show. Anyway, we welcome our guest today. He's been on once before. His name is RandomTonio. Welcome to the show, RandomTonio.
Hello again. Glad to be back after a very long absence.
Yeah.
Was it like 2 years now?
Like Christmas of 19.
Really? It was that long?
Oh, yeah,
ago?
wow.
That was
I think it's long past time for me to come back.
Maybe so. It actually is like almost 2 years, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, I should probably try to do this yearly, depending on how busy it gets in the future or something. But I don't know.
No, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think we're long overdue for a Tonio episode.
Yes.
So for people who don't know, Tonio has a pretty important, or at least noticeable role in the community year to year when it comes to Marble Leagues. He has been consistently doing these things called power rankings each year, and I'm gonna let him explain what those are and why he started doing those. But basically, they're
there are rankings I do.
Just go. You do it.
I rank every team. I rank every team, and I try to explain why I think they will finish that way, how they are performing so far. Sometimes I write down, I begin with, this year I begin with the qualification rankings, in which I predict which teams qualify for the Marble League. And then after qualification, I do the preseason, in which I try to predict which teams I rank, which teams I think will finish where in the 2021 Marble League based on what they performed in the past, as well as what I think of them, the trends, what I think about them. Sometimes I predict good things, sometimes I predict bad things, sometimes my predictions end up correct, while most of the time my predictions end up very wrong. I will never forget the 2019 preseason power rankings, in which I predicted the Oceanics to win the Marble League.
Oh.
Yeah, that will go on in infamy.
You couldn't be more wrong.
The time I predicted the Oceanics to win as host, that ranking will go on in infamy. It will be a meme for the rest of my life.
Yeah, because that's
I thought host teams will do better. And then they finished last, and then they started this whole host curse bizarre thing, like the host curse thing, which does not really exist, but that's what everyone liked to. And then, and then the Crazy Cat side. No, wait, the Team Galactic competed in 2020, and they did fine. 5th place all the time, but that's a good result. Better 5th than 16th or 15th. And Crazy Cat's Eyes in 2021. Bumps in the road. But I think the Crazy Cat's Eyes broke the host curse that does not exist, and they would have
broke the host curse that does not exist. Wof, write that down for us, please. I think the Crazy Cat's Eyes broke the host curse that does not exist.
Yes. Yes. There was never a host curse. It's called teams underperforming. Anyway, yes, the Crazy Cat's Eyes finished 4th, and they would have podiumed and auto-qualified if it wasn't for a racing incident with Rojo Trace, but that's been so beaten to the ground, and I'm not going to discuss that any further. So, but then after the preseason, once the events come in, I update rankings, switch teams around, move them around. I move them around based on where they are and what I think about them, where they end up, how their momentum is. And I do that every event until event 15, in which if they get eliminated, I discuss what's going on, what happened to them, how they go into the future or something. If it's the final event, I'll probably do some opinions, like what I think about the predictions compared to how they're doing right now. So, like, that's what I think I wrote.
Okay, yeah, all right. So, obviously a lot going on there. A lot of rankings over the past few years. I am curious, I don't know if you know this, but do you know why you started to do the rankings? Do you know why you even came up with this idea?
I started in 2018 I started in 2018. I don't really know why, but I started doing it in 2018. I did not share the 2018 rankings at all because I was inexperienced and I wanted to get the feel of all this. But after 2019, I started going knee-deep into the rankings. I started making more than one qualification ranking, more than one preseason ranking. I guess, predicted the Oceanics to win 2019, but that failed. But then in I did a debriefing, I did some other written things. But after 2019, I became a bit more busy with things. The whole pandemic stuff became out of whack.
Yeah, that
and as such, I was only able to do one qualification ranking, followed by one preseason ranking, and then the events going forward. And I also rank the Marble Showdown teams whenever that comes up. Like, see who I think will win the showdown, as well as who I think will be bottom 4 and relegated, or not. Like, although bottom 4 is not relegation this year, I still see it as a benchmark to which teams are bad going into the showdown, which teams have a bad future. So
yeah, it's not going to look good for a bottom 4 team come this qualifiers,
for the showdown,
for sure.
Yeah.
I do want to also ask, so your process, right? I want to know about your process. So you sit down, Tonio, right? Let's say we're coming up to the 2022 qualifiers, right? You're going to have to make a power rankings. You sit down, you have all the information from the past years. What information do you focus on when you make your rankings? How do you choose who's at the top, who's at the bottom, who's in the middle? What is that process where you go from nothing to a complete power ranking for qualifiers?
All right, I begin with every team who's participating this year, like the 28 teams who competed this year in one way or another, as well as the 4 expansion teams, which I'm pretty certain that's also been beaten to the ground. Like 4 expansion teams, 28 new teams, 32 teams. I put them all in a list for the 28 teams. So look at their past results, look what trends I think they're going on, and then I start ranking them. Like 32, 28. Okay, the host and the 3. I begin with saying that the host and the 3 auto-qualified teams are already in it. They're already in, so that's 28 teams fighting for 12 spots.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I start by going with the two extremes, who I think will be in the very top and who I think will have a definitive shot of qualifying, 100% chance of qualifying, and those who I think have 0% chance of qualifying. Like, those who I think will not qualify. Like, I think I have like 3, 4, 5, depending on the year, the teams. Like, I also sometimes consider Marble the one. Marble the one, like I did Marble the one a lot in 2020, but after that I used Marble the one less.
Okay. All
but
right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna when you get your rankings, you're gonna start with who you think is definite to be in,
definitely qualifying,
who you think is definite gonna be
who
out.
I think is definitely not qualifying.
Right.
And then I go down to the middle. Like, sometimes, the middle parts are extremely difficult as the middle parts are extremely difficult as things get a bit hazy. Like, there are some teams who one day I think will qualify barely, while another day I think another team will qualify barely. Like, I have a good example for the 2021 qualification. Like, for the 2021 qualification, I had the Chocolatiers and Indigo Stars as the biggest toss-ups of the group ranking of the group. Like, I predicted that one of them will qualify while the other one will not qualify, but I have no idea if it's going to be the Chocolatiers and Indigo Stars. So I kind of flip-flopped.
Did both of them qualify? I forget. Both of them did qualify, right?
Yeah, yes, but that was before qualification. I have no idea both will qualify. I thought one of them will qualify.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a pretty good guess.
Yeah, but I have no idea which one. So.
Okay, I see. I understand some of the process then. Infamously, at least over the past few years, from what we know about your rankings, they often go badly.
Right.
They often end up not very close to what the actual end result is. So I want to talk about, why do you think that happens?
I have
why
no
do
idea.
You think that things go badly so often?
I don't know. Like maybe it's marbles. Anything in Marble League, anything can happen. Like in the Marble League, anything can happen, and that's where something goes awry. Like, I jokingly suggested the Tonio ranking curse, which I thought the teams I predict this team will finish first, and that means they're gonna finish at the bottom. Like, I haven't made jokes about this. Like, I apologize for your last place rankings. Like, I think I got that in 2020 or 2021 or something, but yeah, I kind of made a joke about that sometimes.
No, yeah, understood. So, I guess I'm curious, now that we're talking all about these rankings. So 2021, who did you? I want to know more about the main event rankings instead of the qualifiers. Who did you put as your top 3 for the main event 2021?
For the preseason, Raspberry Racers, Savage Speeders, and Hazers.
No, I mean for the main event, not for the qualifiers.
That was the main event. I just told you the main event. Okay. Raspberry Racers, Savage Speeders, and Hazers. Okay. The preseason is the main event. Like, the preseason is who I think will... I make the preseason rankings, and that is my predictions for the main event.
Okay. So Raspberry Racers, Savage Speeders, Hazers, and that didn't end terribly. Raspberry Racers did well, but why did you pick those 3? Why did you go with them over any other teams for the top 3 for this particular year?
Like, experience. Like, they have the experience. Like, I know the Savage Speeders have some good history. They have good results. They always podium. Like, the Savage Speeders are basically the safe picks for the top 3. Raspberry Racers, although they dominated qualification, I think the Raspberry Racers still have the talent. They still have the motivation. Like, they have the quality. They have a lot of upside to them. I had the Raspberry Racers winning the entire Marble League.
They almost did. You can't knock your rankings. The Raspberry Racers almost
is
won the
very
whole
true.
thing. People thought
Yes,
the Raspberry
they
Racers
almost
were
won
the
the whole
winners
thing
if it
until they
wasn't for
did
the last
not.
two events.
Yeah, they almost won, and then they did not.
Yeah.
And the Hazers, like I thought the Hazers would finally get over the hump and win the championship because of all the talent and experience. Like 2021, I relied on experience, like the experienced teams going up and doing their experience, because that happened in 2020. Like in 2020, I saw the experienced teams doing well, so that's what I got for 2021. Like last year's ranking, like last year's results have a big influence on this year's rankings. So with Mellow Yellow,
I'm assuming so.
With Mellow Yellow making it in, winning, and Gliding Glaciers in third, and I have no idea who got second.
Man, I'm trying to pull up your rankings from this year. You have like 3,000 PDF documents in the zip files.
Wait,
what?
Really?
No,
Like what is?
no,
all
I have
what are all these...
I have zip files. I assembled zip files if you want to read them.
Like, why didn't you just put it all in one big document?
Too big. Like
Too big.
Discord probably wouldn't let him post
that's
it.
Showdown. What's this? This is the second. Oh, you made a ranking for the second half of the Marble League. The back half, you got to change your answers.
No, like back half, like I do it like a professional rankings. Like, you know, NFL teams, like people change their rankings after every week.
Oh, so you change your rankings after every event.
Yes, I do it like that.
Crap.
Yes.
Oh wow! So so you would seriously adjust your list after every single event. So each of the 16, you would create a new ranking for what you think the end's looking like.
Yes.
Did you ever, in one of those, I guess, 15 different rankings, did you ever have Mellow Yellow at the top?
No. Wait.
Wow.
I don't think so. Like one or two. Like I remember once. Like I have no idea which one though, but Mellow Yellow was very frustrating to rank. Like I got them first in event 12. Like I got like 2 times. Like events 12, events 11. Then no.
Okay.
Like not a lot though. Like I know it's not a lot. Like I think I got Mellow Yellow at number 1 like twice.
Yeah.
And
no.
yeah, Mellow Yellow is one of the most difficult teams to rank too. Like I honestly, they're the biggest enigma for me. Like
Yeah, they're very unpredictable. I mean, I wouldn't have guessed they would have won this year. They're not.
Me neither. Like
they're not the
even
first
in
team.
even in the final event, I was like, they have a shot, but they're not going to win. Like
Yeah,
I have
think
Mellow
they
Yellow
will.
at number 1 twice.
All right. I mean, that's not bad. It's something. You've 1/8
but-
of the rankings were had the
This
winner.
year I had Mellow Yellow at 8th because because of how difficult it is to rank. Like they're so inconsistent. I decided I'm not playing this game. I'm putting them straight in the middle because I do not trust them. I do not trust Mellow Yellow. Like if I ranked honestly, I honestly would have predicted Mellow Yellow to have a bad season, but because of how unpredictable they are, I put them straight in the middle. I thought it was playing it safe, so
Yeah, and that's not. I mean, that's not a bad idea. I mean, they're not a team that I would necessarily have predicted to win either. It's hard to see that. Anyway, in general, point being from this to the listeners, guys, this is another way that someone is creating content in the Marble Sports community. Power rankings are a little bit different than your average predictions, or fantasy leagues or anything, because this is a weekly, updated event by event kind of representation in a way of what the strong and weak teams look like at the current moment, and what you may expect, what you might be able to expect for the future. He's been doing this for a few years, so he gets continually better every year.
I think I do better every year.
Yeah, you do, because you have more experience, you have more understanding of the teams, but this does also speak to how unpredictable Marvel Sports is. No one expected really Mellow Yellow to win.
Yes, I have I'm confident that in 2022 the same thing will happen. Like, they're just one team who I think will be terrible. Like, the one thing I think will be terrible, and all of a sudden they're in the top 3. And a team I had doing very well ends up finishing in the bottom of the standings. So,
yeah, no, it happens.
That's predictions for you.
Yeah, no, and rarely will they turn out. If you get like a few of them right, if you're able to maybe predict a couple in the top 3 and the top 5, then you're doing a good job. But especially Marvel Sports, it's really difficult.
Yeah, I had like 4 of the 5. I think I got 4 of 5 correct last time. Got 4 out of 5 that are accurate this time, but like this year, I think the big blunders were at the bottom. Like, yeah.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, Wof, any questions? Other questions about the power rankings?
No, I think you guys covered everything. I'll say that 4 out of 5 is pretty good. So like you're like, it's hard to get like an accurate like prediction of 16 different teams, especially in something like Marble Sports that is random. So I definitely applaud your efforts to try and actually do that.
Like a ton of color combinations as well. Like there were like a ton of like so many combinations of marble teams. Like millions of different possibilities.
Yeah, you have 16. You could order them in literally any way. So, I mean, and that's where... So if you get some of them right, that means you're able to order them pretty wisely. You're just trying to do the best you can to give some general idea of where teams are going to be. Obviously, based on performance, you weren't going to end up putting certain teams way at the bottom, right? Like Mellow Yellow wasn't going to be 16th on the list probably, and Savage Speeders weren't going to be, 16th on the list, right? So you had like that general idea. It's just that, really trying to see where it's going to go by the next event can be hard week to week. But, hey, you're doing a good job, and you're providing another way for us to view the data that we see from Marvel Sports and kind of view the event. So your content is appreciated. I personally always make fun of your rankings. That's just kind of become a thing over the last 2 years.
I have this feeling that everyone pokes on my rankings.
Some of them you see, and they're like, wow, that was a bad ranking. But, hey, you're doing the best you can. We appreciate that.
Like, I know there are other rankings out there, but I think mine is, like, the first.
Yeah, I don't really know of anyone who does power rankings.
Yeah, mine is the first. I did not share 2018, but 2019 onwards, I've done it, so yeah.
Yeah, and people kind of remember you as a guy who does that, so keep doing it, man. And you know what? Eventually, in a few years, everyone will be like, dude, Randomtonio, that's the guy we go to for our general predictions. Just don't put Oceanics at the top ever again.
Yeah. Worded.
Yeah. Anyway, so thanks for sharing that part of it with us, RandomTonio.
Thank you.
To see what 2022 will look like, especially after some of the less fortunate finishes for Savage Speeders and Arrangers. But remember, then again, the top 12, top 13 was very close in points in 2021.
Yeah, very close. Like, if you only look at standings, you will think, wow, the Savage Speeders must be trash. But when you look at the points differentials, you actually see that it's really close.
Right. Yeah, and that's going to change predictions. And so when you look, if you look at standings
right now. Yeah, the predictions are scrambled. Like, I have no idea who's going to be at the top either. Like, anyone could win. I have no idea. Like, the predictions are now scrambled again. Like, maybe I could go for the youth. I could go for the rookies. I could go for the expansion teams. Like, that's something I could consider next year.
We'll see. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. And rookies are always hard to bet on, Rookies are hard to bet on. I got lucky with the Green Ducks.
Green Ducks, I did not
Other
see
rookies haven't been as
doing.
good.
I honestly, I predicted Indigo Stars and Green Ducks I had being mediocre in the rookie seasons, and then they went on opposite paths.
Right.
And Gliding Glaciers too. Like, this is technically their rookie season. This is the Gliding Glaciers' first season, their rookie season. I thought their inexperience is going to take them down, but yeah.
Yeah, I also bet on them too, and I got lucky with them. They were they were the best performing. They were the second best performing team of my fantasy.
Third.
They just came out strong. No, I did not bet on Mellow Yellow this year. So just Raspberry Racers. On my fantasy team, only Raspberry Racers was better.
Okay.
But yeah, like I did not see that coming, and so it's really hard to look out for that. But then again, like I said, because of the closeness of the standings, you cannot count out a Rangers or Savage Speeders. You cannot count out teams that finished in the mid-pack because the points differential wasn't that big. You change one event by a few points, you have a completely different standings. So
yeah,
that's gonna make this coming year's power rankings hard. This coming year's predictions hard. But yeah,
I know the predictions will be scrambled. Like, predictions will be scrambled. Qualification predictions, they will be scrambled. Like, there could be I know how one of the this year, some of the big team, some of the more experienced teams, they did not qualify. Team Galactic didn't qualify. Midnight Wisp did not qualify. But the Limers and Rojo Rollers did qualify. So that was a big surprise. So I kind of should expect either another year of massive chaos or things to go back into the mold. So
yeah, but then we add new teams. Things are going to go very high here.
The moment you add expansion teams, things get blown out of the water. If all 4 expansion teams qualify, if all 4 expansion teams qualify, throw out all your expectations, throw out all your predictions, because now the Marble League is scrambled no matter who else qualifies.
Marble League is scrambled. No, I agree. If they all qualify, we have a lot of thinking to do, because that's going to take out 4 big teams, whatever 4 they may be. Or
teams that will be 4 known teams. We take out 4 known teams to replace them with 4 teams we have no clue about.
Right,
so
and then we're going to have some other teams in there. Right.
Qualification will be the only thing they got, unless you are the Blackjacks or Golden Orbs.
Yeah. For sure.
But they're too old that they may be different teams. Just ask the Gliding Glaciers that, so I have to treat them all as new teams, and yeah, everything's scrambled. It's basically guessing. Qualification is all we have, and we're going to guess.
Yeah, no,
possibly. It really depends. I guess if it's a returning team and they have experience, it's the same team members, then I would consider their old experience. Whereas the Gliding Glaciers, they replaced their entire team.
Yeah, I basically treated them as a rookie team.
Yeah, that's how you should.
If the Blackjacks qualify, I'm going to treat them as a rookie team, because this will be their first year in the Marble League. So,
yeah, that is true, right? They didn't qualify though.
They did not qualify, no.
Yeah, we got to see them.
But they did compete in qualifiers, though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
We should see them as a rookie team. It's been a long time. We don't have enough information on them to make a good prediction, especially if they qualify. They pretty much go against all of what the prediction would say that they would do. So if they qualify, you got to treat them as a rookie team.
In my opinion, I think 2 expansion teams are going to qualify. I do not know which 2 yet, but I think 2 of them will qualify, because
what would I say off the bat? I think one of them will. One definitely of the 4.
Yeah, one definitely. A second one will be a very close. It will be a toss-up. Third one depends on my mood. A known team could have a bad off day, and that could move them down a bit. But if all 4 teams qualify, just blow the whole thing up and guess.
Yeah, if all 4 teams qualify, I'm going to be sitting here on the show getting ready for Marble League predictions, and I'm going to be unsure. And I'm going to say that if all 4 expansion teams qualify, I'm going to tell you guys that I don't know what to predict, and I'm not going to be able to give you many good examples. I mean, not examples, options. many good
Like,
predictions,
the only
many good
guarantees
solid
are the
facts.
Green Duck,
There's no guarantee.
Raspberry Racers, Mellow Yellow, and Gliding Glaciers.
Right.
Those are the only 4
Those are
guarantees next year.
Right, and within your guarantees, within your basket of guarantees, 1/4 of them is pretty much unknown besides this year.
Yes.
So I mean, we're coming into I think the next couple of years, if you want to really talk about that. The next couple of years of Marble League are going to be very, very hard to predict,
and
very, very hard to pin. And we got to really think here and really observe what we see in qualifiers and really pull as much as we can from that.
But qualification, you have to take them to a grain of salt. Like
Right. And so we're going to have to really nitpick in the qualifiers for the next couple of years because that's going to be important. And then we have one of the closest
and that's
Marble
not
Leagues
including
ever.
teams that retire and get replaced. Like, if a team retires and is replaced by another team, then it throws another rankings are thrown off the loop. Like, another curveball gets thrown out there.
For sure. But anyway,
I think something that we might have forgotten about is like these 4 new teams. They're not going to start in the qualifiers. They're going to start in Showdown next year.
is that the case?
I completely
did not even
forgot
know
that they were in a showdown. So
all right, well, then that kind of sets things back a minute. So things aren't going to be as crazy possibly as we once thought, but it still is. The 4 new teams will shake up the showdown quite a bit, and it could be.
Yes, they will. Yes, the showdown will definitely be shaken up. Like, I think one of the expansion teams will not. I think one of the expansion teams will be in the bottom 4 of the showdown. And another one of the expansion teams will be in the top 3.
Yeah, I would say. Anyway, I think we should move on to Racing Marble League then. Cover them for a little bit. So I'll talk a little bit about the Racing Marble League since I'm on the committee board and I do the commentary about where we're at. And then I'm going to let Wof and Tonio also speak to what they think about the current state of the channel. So currently the Racing Marble League, they've done 1 season of Racing Marble, what they call the Racing Marble League, the classic circuit racing. Then they did a 2nd season that had 4 event tryouts beforehand to make sure to choose the best from the group of all the marbles. And the way it works is people pay and submit a marble and send it in to the guy, and he races those marbles. He uses the name they give, and he races them all. And he does the tryouts just to separate the faster ones from the slower ones. The slower ones from the tryout that didn't make Season 2's A League, they went to the B League this year, which was also 6 events, but shorter races, not as long. Current state of the Racing Marble League is now that 2 seasons have passed,
it can grow. I think Racing Marble League's going to grow. I watched some of their races, and they are really exciting to watch.
No, yeah. I love the potential of the channel, but so far they started something called the Elite Racing League, which basically is any marble who's ever achieved a first place in a B or A League race is able to participate in this. That's how it works. I don't know if it's going to become more stringent guidelines as more seasons go past and we get more marbles, but getting firsts. But right now, that's how it works. It happens 4 times a year. He's going to try to do it, and it's just a time to celebrate the best racers and see them race. And then also there is a new tournament in the works. It's kind of a Marble League style tournament where we're going to have teams of 4 and that vibe, but it's going to have different types of events. Events that are more racing focused, but still have spin-offs on them. Maybe stuff like Capture the Flag, stuff like that. That's like just some ideas we've come up with. So,
Racing Marble League will have their own version of the Marble League? That I have never heard of. That I've never heard about.
No, yeah. It's not news that it's very open to the public. I only know it because I am part of planning it. So that will.
Was this supposed to be secret?
No. This is not 100% confidential. I wouldn't have said it if it was not. If it was. So I can mention this, but it has not been like. I guess it just hasn't been announced everywhere yet. But it's in the works. We don't have all the details yet. We probably won't share the details for a while. But right now, the planning is going pretty well. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the series to start to establish. But for people who watch the Racing Marble League, if you don't, you should go watch it. They're a very high quality channel, probably second behind JMR. A lot of passion in their work, and they improve every video.
Is there.
The graphics are good. Commentary is it's passable at best there. The lighting and the camera work is pretty good, and he always works improving every time. So I mean, honestly, it looks as good at Fubica, if not better. So it's a good channel, and they certainly deserve support. And they really put a lot of work into their content to make sure it's high quality. So I'm excited for the potential of the channel, but that's pretty much what's going on with the channel now for people who don't really know about it or don't really know what the future looks like. But I want to turn it over to you guys, as you guys are viewers, so you're not involved in the production. So, I mean, so far, Racing Marble League, Tonio, what do you think of the channel and what they're doing, and what do you want to see?
Lots of potential. Like, I saw on our website that the top 7 qualify for the main A-League, but I'm also hearing sources that the top 6 qualify for the main A-League, and I do not know if it's a top 6 or top 7.
Let me speak to that. So, and I don't know what I think about this quite yet per se, but the rule is that the top 6 from the B League are supposed to go to the A League. The top 7, Panda, who is 7th, was 1 point behind the 6th place marble. And then the difference between Panda and all the marbles below him, like even the marble right after him, was a huge points differential. So the decision through the committee, or the discussed decision, was like, okay, just throw Panda in there as well, because he was he was a lot more leaned towards
better than the others.
Yeah, so they would like throw him in there as well. I don't know if I like that decision. It sets a very weird precedent. But it's that, like, I think for this year,
it wasn't the website said 7, and that's what I was going with for a while. So
yeah, it's I think they're still working on exactly how they want to use the structure too, because it's
they've
this
done
is the
this
first year
structure,
they've qualified, right?
Yeah, that was their first season doing this kind of structure. So yeah, like maybe do relegation to the B League too, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's still being worked out so that it's most fair and marbles that were submitted. Because people are submitting marbles and paying to see them race, so maybe make sure they get the most amount of racing time. So,
like, we could be seeing so many marbles singing that they may end up having to create a C League for all the marbles that fail in that. So
that would be too much. I don't know. How many he's letting in? I think there is a cutoff point. There are marbles already who he's retired for being too slow. So I think that's getting managed, and there might be a backlog wait list for a while that extends for when your marble's going to get in, and there might be a certain amount of marbles per year in the future that are allowed to be new, and certain that have to be retired, and so on and so forth. But that's again, it's a newer channel. They're still working that out. But,
the performance gap, like, if you are below this number of points, you're out.
Right. And then the new ones who were submitted, they get their chance. And then maybe you can resubmit one of those marbles, whatever, or resubmit a new one. But yeah, that's been the current state. Wof.
All right, finally. I really like RML. I think it's a very cool series. This time around, like, because there's now more history, I was feeling more into it than I've ever been before. It was really cool to see Sacred Snow almost becoming like sort of the red eye of the league, mostly for the B League. We gotta see how Sacred Snow does.
Like, Crimson Lady is the red eye of the Racing Marble League.
Oh my god,
that is true.
Unbelievable!
That's right,
unbelievable.
Yes.
And she comes out in the elite race and she wins the elite race like it's nothing. I couldn't even, like, I was like.
Like, there's
it really
Crimson Lady
incredible.
and there's everyone else, so...
Yes, that's exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
Though she did not lead the most laps in that race. Tornado led the most laps in that race.
And Tornado still
most
lost
raps.
to Crimson Lady.
But yeah, I think it's very cool that we can now see these trends and like this, and like actually establish, like, okay, these are the good racers and stuff, and these are the bad racers. Like that gives character to the league and the story, and gets you more invested. And I really love that stuff. I loved especially like how there were some more crazy moments that happened this time around, like Flashfire riding up on the border there and getting onto the glass bridge, and like, was it race 2 or 3? Like, there was so many great moments. Both the production quality is improving along with it too. So
and,
it's also.
How do you like the commentary,
more fun
Wof? How's the commentary? What do you think about that?
I think your commentary's just gotten better as time has gone on.
Yeah,
it's
I
more,
also saw the improvements.
way more natural.
Thank you, Wof. Thank you, Wof. It's obviously, that's been
Yeah,
it's been so
for the
fun.
qualification, like I don't know if that's a nitpick or not, but I like the first season's qualification more than the second season's qualification. Like,
oh yeah, let's talk about that. Okay, so the big thing with RML that's kind of stood out and it's been a talking point. And I'm gonna explain why this has a difference than JMR, but let me first explain what the difference is. So the first season of RML, the qualifiers were run where in groups of 3 groups, marbles would go out there and they would race in, like, I think it was 3 groups of 7, and they would race all together, and then that placement, and they all 7 of them together on the track racing against each other in the qualifiers, in the time trials. And then that would kind of decide, I think by time, because he would actually then still time them, by time, who would place where. It was like really odd. It was also
fun.
The top 3 from each would be ordered. No, it was the top 3 from each would be ordered, and the 4 and 5 would get a last chance qualifier, and the bottoms wouldn't race or something. It was really odd, but it was something different. Then this year he went back to traditional 1 marble at a time, timing, just getting a raw time on single racing. There's 2 problems. The problem with the first one was that this is very odd, and it may not have accurately tested the speed of marbles. Of course, there's a lot of other marbles on the track, and then they did the competition caution where they stopped them halfway through the 7 laps. It was really weird.
Yeah, the competition clock was convoluted.
Yeah, agreed. But
don't do that again. Never do that again.
They won't do that again. They didn't like that.
Maybe do the groups of 7. Do like a 5-lap shootout. Like the best.
Well, I get that. There's been talk of a new thing. You got to bring up ideas in a minute. So the second way, of course, with the 1 marble at a time, the problem with that is that took way too long. Most of the video that is uploaded right now for season 2 is time trials, and then the back end of the video is the race. Obviously, that's a negative thing.
Yeah.
The reason they can't do it, so what JMR does to speed that up is they run like 2 marbles at a time. They do 1, couple seconds 2, so you can have 2 racing at a time. Gives more for the commentator to talk about. Runs the qualifiers twice as quickly. Racing Marble League can't do that, because the Racing Marble League has a marble booster, not an elevator. Now, I personally think the marble booster is a much better transition piece between the bottom and the top of the track than the elevator. It's by far better. There is not much competition between the two when it comes to quality and how it affects the race. But I will also say that because of that, they cannot time, unless they built a elevator which they substituted in to the track for just the qualifiers, which would be very complicated. They can't do a timed thing where they send 1 marble out and then delay and send the next one out. So in the same place. So because of that, it's that ability to just shorten the qualifiers like that, like JMR did, is not possible. So the current idea is to take groups of 3 marbles and race groups of 3 marbles, and I think it's like a few laps, 2 laps, 3 laps, and then order that from there. I don't know if he's going to actually record the individual times of each of the marbles, or just get their. I don't know exactly. I think he's going to take the times from each things, but race them 3 together, where they're going to get to collide and touch each other, whatever. Yeah, that's going to be the new idea. And while I don't
7 groups of 3, that's a good idea.
Well, I don't love it necessarily, because marbles in the time trials, I feel the fact that they're going to hit each other. I don't know. I'm a purist, so I like the straight, just timed based on your own self. I do think it's unique, and it adds kind of like a racing aspect to the qualifiers. It's like, okay, you have to, in the qualifiers, it's not just about being fast by yourself. You also have to have some ability to maneuver around other marbles, even if it's just 2 others. So I'm not against it, but that's the new idea. So maybe you guys can speak to what you think about that.
So here's my thoughts on, like, I think that, like, a race like that would definitely be way more interesting and exciting to watch than just watching a time trial, absolutely. So from an entertainment value, that is definitely the better way to go. But you are right, like, messing with that time trial thing, it's like it's kind of the way that you kind of divide the two, like, qualifiers is where you just prove how good you are, like, how fast you are. But then, like, the actual race is like your testing of your controlling, your drafting, your ability to maneuver around other racers and avoid collisions and stuff like that. So like two different skill sets. So like I think I might actually prefer keeping it that way. Another way you could do it, like there are other ways besides an elevator, like to segment them off.
Like I know they
sure
did like a line, like some arbitrary finish line somewhere before or after the booster. Like
yeah, I think that could be something like that, like, or like someone like off camera could then feed them into the booster beforehand, and like that's where the time. Then once it goes over the starting gate, that's when the time starts. So like they're off camera, so you can't see them, but like they'll feed in like maybe 3 in like a periodic way. That way and then they can get out of the shot before they comes back to them. So that's one way you can do it. Another way you could do is have like a multi like a split screen thing where you see multiple qualifying runs happening simultaneously.
Man, that was that idea. I just want to have to cut in. I do. I've proposed that idea to so many different people, so many different times. Fubeca, it was the first idea I had for Fubeca for shortening up the time trial, doing the split screen thing, and he never did it. But the split screen thing is such a good idea because you can still run the marbles separately, but then you can see 2 of them at the same time. Holy crap!
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they don't do it. I maybe it would look weird. I don't know, but yes, I brought that up a long time ago to many people. I don't know why it's not done ever. JMR should do that. Honestly, I think it'd be really cool. It would add to like the variety of what it looks like to watch the qualifiers. Whatever.
But then it like fits like that. Like JMR has a certain style, like a certain way of doing things. Like I feel like the split screen will compromise that certain style. Like I know JMR has this certain style that how JMR is supposed to look like. A JMR video should look like this, or a JMR video should be voiced by Greg Woods. Like if they do a split screen, I feel like the JMR experience will be compromised in some way.
Yeah. I mean, possibly. Though I guess I wouldn't mind it for the Racing Marble League. I feel like he would make it work, but
maybe. But
yeah.
Like I think another way to improve it is like maybe it's just me, but like having the qualifiers, especially these long form versions of qualifiers, like taking place before the race.
Like I think we should have split the separate videos. Like I know season 1 separated qualification and the race. That was really good, but in season 2 they somehow put both of them together, and that was too long. So I suggest separating qualification and the main race.
Yeah. I'm aware of that possibility too, but then no one really watches the other video. The same happened with Marbula 1 too. When they separated into 2 videos, no one watched the other video.
Although won't people just like skip over that portion of the video, so they won't get watch time for it anyway?
You're more likely to have it watched if it's just there, and so that's what
the race is bigger than
even
qualification. You do not like. I know some people watch qualification, but more people watch the race. So that's my.
It's true, and that's what I'm saying. Like even though it breaks from the purest form, having 3 marbles, seven groups, 3 marbles each race for like 2 laps, which gets done pretty quickly.
Yes.
That is a much more exciting way to run the qualifiers because then you get to see mini races.
I know Formula 1 has their own unique way of doing qualification, and that's good too, but like individual time trials, that good for you, but speed alone isn't going to dictate how you're going to do. You need agility, control. Make sure you don't crash into anything.
Yeah,
so
I just think that in the current climate of marble sports, especially if you're a smaller channel like RML, it's as much as I like the pure form, it's more important for the entertainment value of the video to do it. It's kind of the way that we're thinking with the groups of 3. I don't love it, but I mean, it's also like
I think
it might be the
group of
best
3 is a good
for
compromise. Like 7 groups of 3 doing a 2 or 3 lap shootout, and then the best of the 7 do like another shootout or something?
No, I think
or
I think the times would just be recorded. So it would be like
Only
a
a
mini
time
race,
trial,
but the
that's
times of each marble will be singularly recorded. It's just that the times will be different because the marbles, of course, will have worse times because they're racing against other marbles as opposed to being by themselves. But the race, then the qualifiers, does get done quicker and is a little bit more interesting to watch. And then you gotta get a sense of where marbles are at, because if you win your little group, you're probably gonna qualify decently overall. Though it is gonna be weird to see 3 points given out for pole position when it's not pure time trial racing. But I think it's just the best thing for now. Until
maybe do the fastest 7 and do a shootout or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but then you're back to making it long again. So I don't know. But that's the current plan. I'm sure it will change a lot, but over time. But that's where the RML is at, and I just got to say that I just think the RML it's going to be a viable channel as far as top 3 model sports channels to watch. It already is, in my opinion, but it's becoming that because it's also building lore. It already has built lore faster than Fubeca. If you ask me, name a team from Fubeca and just
I can't name a single Fubeca team.
You can't name that.
I honestly
can't tell me anything.
I do not watch Fubeca either. I don't watch Fubeca.
But you can't tell me anything. I mean, maybe you can mention fast coupons. Because Marble Circuits, the next season's come up. By the way, they don't have a commentator anymore, so already going back downhill.
Fubeca's starting to fall apart, but...
The only team I can think of from Fubeca is the team that didn't even actually end up happening, like Team Yadagarasu. That's the only thing that I can...
Oh, funny enough.
I don't remember Fubeca either. I don't follow Fubeca at all. And then they also do this weird World Cup thing with real countries, and that breaks lore immensely.
That breaks Marble Sports Forum, and I hate it. I want to mention this little bit of sneak peek type information. So back along, I don't know how much of that I mentioned on the show, but back when I was working for Fubeca, I had to come up with Marble Champions idea. That's what they called the new series, and they actually did do Marble Champions. And they came up with completely new teams. But we as the committee, when I was working for his committee, had to come up with a bunch of teams. So that included teams like Team Yadagarasu, Amethyst Alliance, Sky Strikers, Oxygenics, teams that we tried to follow the catchy and removed from the human world themes of JMR, but still come up with unique and original names that aren't very close to copy. So we came up with very good names.
And then none of them are used.
But when I went over to RML and he's like, oh, we want to do a Marble League type thing. Well, I was like, well, I have a bunch of teams. Guess what teams are going to be used in this coming tournament?
That's great. I love that.
Some of them were removed and changed, but most of them stayed. My favorite stayed, of course, Team Yadagarasu in there, Sky Strikers, Amethyst Alliance, Oxygenics. I'm very, very excited about the team names. Emeralds.
Was Crimson Lady a rejected Fubeca name or something?
No, Crimson Lady. No, that's a different series. That's the racing series. I'm talking about the coming Marble League type series. That was fans submitted their marbles and submitted names with. Oh
yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So So that's a little exciting thing. You're gonna get to see those teams. It's gonna be so exciting for me to do commentary over teams that I kind of came up with some of the names. That's so fun.
Sky Striker sounds familiar. Did Sky Striker compete in the RML Racing Series?
No,
I thought they did.
I don't think so.
I don't know
either. Crazy, right? I would remember that.
Maybe.
Right? And that would be funny because I came up with all those teams before RML even became a thing. So that would be funny. Yeah. But being said, there is those are going to come back.
Yes. Alex in the chat referencing the stream video Green Bean Gang. Let's go.
Green Bean Gang. What is Green Bean? Wait, what is this from?
Green Beans? Is that a team? The Green Beans?
So when I did my stream of my first playthrough of the JMR video game, I literally woke up that morning just Green Bean Gang. That's a funny name. I was like, you know what? I just randomly assigned the custom team that name.
So silly.
What did the Green Beans look like?
Well, I only took the time to do one custom marble, and then I hit custom for all of them, but didn't actually assign a skin. So it was the Wolf marble, and then a bunch of red eyes.
So Team Red Eyes. Red Eye, Wolf.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. I couldn't be bothered to do a custom for all of them. I just wanted to get to the rest of the game.
All right. Well, anyway, guys, those are RML updates. I definitely highly recommend you check out the channel. And I think that it's just a couple more years with them to build up lore and to build up okay, these are the established teams. These are the teams that compete
RML
every
already
year.
has lore. Like Crimson Lady is the elite marble RML champion. Can you beat Crimson Lady? And then everyone comes in.
No one can. No
come
one
and
can.
beat Crimson Lady, and then all these marble come in trying out.
I personally love this lore. I love I love that there is a distinct possibility that Crimson Lady is going to win Season 3, and then Crimson Lady is going to be undefeated for a long time. And then the Racing Marble League is going to become, can anyone beat this marble? Can anyone do it? Anyone out there, can you try?
Yes.
Can anyone do
Calling
it?
all marbles.
Yeah.
Take on Crimson Lady and win. Winner gets
honestly, she's
winner
so
gets
good.
$1 million or something.
I think she's easily as good as any of the marbles in JMR. Honestly, I really do. Because it's a standout performance.
Yeah. I
Want to
see Red Eye versus Crimson Lady. Red Eye versus Crimson Lady, the epic crossover.
I also think
that'd actually be kind of cool.
It would be very, very just awesome to me. In a weird way. I would really, really think it would be so cool if Crimson Lady went up against some of the JMR marbles and was completely crushed. So even though Crimson Lady is an amazing racer, it'd be cool to see that there still is a huge gap between anyone in JMR and these other marbles. I don't think just by
But what if
physics,
Crimson Lady beats the JMR marbles?
I think that would be more likely, or they would be a very close race. But I think it would be really funny if Crimson Lady,
the greatest marbles of all time, losing to Crimson Lady.
Yeah.
Crimson Lady defeated the JMR marbles. Can you take on Crimson Lady?
Can you?
Crimson Lady is a 16mm, right?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, they're all 16.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
You're all mentioning Crimson Lady. Crimson Lady is the best example of the lore build up in RML, but the thing is that Crimson Lady is one of the only few marbles that you can really name off the top of your head and that you know a story to. All the other ones are just so nebulous.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We need a couple more years to
I can
settle
still name a handful of RML marbles. I know Wild Canuck is Canadian. Polyonyx is one of the more memorable
Polyonyx is
ones.
the opposite story. Just since the first race, not very good because he won the first race ever, and then it's just been bad from there. Not terrible, but bad. Polyonyx. But that's why I'm saying we need 2 more years. We need to build up lore. We need to be able to, when you say RML, you need to be able to think 5 different marbles. Crimson Lady, boom, and then 5 others. And that will happen in 2 years because the lore will be built up. You'll find Crimson Lady challengers. You'll find marbles that are, you'll probably have different versions of Oceanics or whatever, You'll find that over time. And that's why it needs more time. And then, of course, some of the teams from the Marble League type tournament, if that continues to go, those will be memorable too because you'll have, I think,
Crimson Lady versus the RML Marble competition or something. Have them face off each other or something.
Yeah.
Crimson Lady competes against one of these teams or something.
Sure.
Maybe. But with all this talk about lore, I think maybe we should bring it over to JMR lore for a bit, because I got some stuff I want to talk about there.
Oh, yeah, JMR lore.
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see how that goes.
We should definitely cover that quickly. Oh my god, we're at 58 minutes. So,
oh boy.
All right, okay.
Let's cover that, and then we'll do emails and get out of here.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, I guess just the easy one, going off, we try to do one article every week, but we've been failing. But we finally got into Team Primary.
Team Primary.
Team Primary. They've had a rough history.
Yes.
My favorite part of it though is one thing, I didn't know that Prim and Mary were siblings, which was very cool. That adds some sort of familial bond there.
Yeah.
And also they were artists. They studied in college to be artists, and then they weren't really into racing, but then they saw it and racing itself was an art form. It's okay, that's cool. I like that.
And then they competed in Marble 1, and both of them completed masterpieces like Picasso's, Da Vinci's, Da Vinci, Picasso, Van Gogh, the greatest artists of all time. They look at how Prim and Mary performed their Marble 1 performances, and they look in shock. They look at them and they bow down. we cannot fathom making masterpieces like what Prim and Mary are doing.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing and beautiful. I love it. Yeah, there was an addendum. This is actually the first article that I read that had an addendum to it, which is basically once Marble Earth started, some people added some new articles with more updated information, and it talked about how Mary was overcoming the whole cube meme thing, and it was just before Showdown, so it's like
there was a big cube thing with a knife or something, and they were like,
is there a knife thing?
I don't
remember a knife.
I remember some target about Cube Mary. I know they're like, I saw something with Cube Mary thing, and I was like, I don't want to ask him about that. Like, I swear I've read that last year, but I have no idea where. Like, I don't know if it's...
That feels like an Akanon kind of thing to do.
Yeah, that does feel like an Akanon kind of thing to do. Come on.
Probably, I have no idea.
But outside of that, recently, though we didn't get a new one, Folkoff actually wrote an article about the Halloween races, and I'll just kind of go over a little bit. It takes place from the perspective of a marble named Aleister Crowley, which is a reference to Aleister Crowley, an occultist from the 80s or something, the late 80s, and he's tasked by Stinth to find out who the Halloween race marbles are, and he goes on this journey.
That sounds great.
Misty, these misty lands. He gets leads from the kobolds, oh, you can find this person here, and Oceanics telling them this, and he meets all these marbles, learns stuff about them, Eyeball is
That's awesome.
From this island, that's fighting against this weird monster. The Zomballs have these very strange, all these strange names. It's so kind of silly, but also kind of cool. All these mysterious supernatural marbles, and then Blood Moon, it's the last one he meets. And he's a bus driver, and for his town, all that stuff, and it's very cool. And he comes out to Stinth, he tells him the story, this is amazing. And then Stinth is amazing. I can't believe you were so wrong about everything. It's how I wanted you to figure out who was underneath them, underneath their costumes and masks. Why else did you think a kobold knows I forgot what marble was, but one of the kobolds knows one of the Halloween marbles.
Do some marbles
there.
come and compete in the Halloween races or something? Do they visit and they're like, yes, I want to face it off against you guys? And let's do a friendly
I like
matchup
that twist on it. So we're
other.
assuming the Halloween marbles are marbles that we know and love, but on wearing costumes
right.
for the day.
But yeah, and Aleister is kind of ashamed. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna go back and try and talk to Blood Moon because they're from the very first one and they know everybody. So okay, I'll go ask Blood Moon about stuff. Maybe he can to figure out who these marbles really are. But when he goes back, he's struggling to find them. So he goes to the company who that he drives the bus for, and he's we don't have anybody named Blood Moon in our employ. And then he went back to his house that they did their interview at, and the house is decayed, and there's a hole in the roof, and the bus isn't there. It's it's been abandoned for years. And then he hears Blood Moon in the distance, I'll see you later. Flies off into the night, and Alice just runs away screaming. So it's a double twist. No,
great.
they aren't are they? It's are they actually just regular marbles who are dressing up in their marbly marbles, or are they truly supernatural beings with hidden stories and stuff?
That actually is I'm intrigued by that just by your description. That's actually awesome. I love how that's
so
the story.
fun.
Yeah, too bad there's no Halloween race this year. There was a lot of things going on with that.
Yeah, that is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But that's something that what I really love about Marble Earth, or Marble Earth, the way it's written. I don't know how I think it's pronounced Marble Earth, but I love how it adds a story, especially saying how the Halloween races specifically. Before it was just seen as just this silly little thing that just happens in the background, and is but then this expands it, actually has a story to it.
Right, this makes it kind of interesting to watch, because then you're wow, this has this story, and now I'm wondering about the story, and now I'm into it. And that's
right.
The beauty of a fandom that makes fan art, because then you take things that are not the most watched of content in the community, but then you you add entertainment value to it, you add connections to it, and then it becomes something where people are wow, now I want to see that race, I want to think about that, and come up with more lore for that. So I mean, I don't know, I think that's very cool. I really am a fan.
This is ambitious and extremely time consuming, but I would love to see stop motion like stories in segments to like show these like digital story. Maybe have some voice acting. Maybe like
not really.
I don't think. Yella couldn't. With his time, there was no way he could do that. But maybe like a fan, who okay, this person, like you are officially associated with JMR to like make these things so they're canon. But Yella doesn't have to worry about taking the time to make them. I think that would be so cool. Like just to add a visual. Like I can imagine like a little fog machine. Like you know how like in preschool you would make those dioramas like a haunted city.
No, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, and I think it would be nice. The problem is, of course, Dion would be a big stumbling block for that, but I think it would be really cool if you had someone who's for that, and it would take time to do that and make those stories. Again, voice acting, whether that should be part of it.
Voice acting, please. Like voice acting,
people would hate it.
No.
People would love it. But I think just stuff like that, where you bring it to life, would really add to it, at least for the inner community. We should probably dive into the emails real quick too before we wrap up for today.
They've waited long enough.
But here we go. We definitely behind on some emails. So we'll get through these couple here. So Edu writing in, he said new teams. This is talking about the expansion for this coming week of the 4
September 25th.
Oh my god. Possibilities and what I want to see. He says these are my ideal picks for the next 4 teams to join the league as part of the expansion. All new purple squad. This is the color everybody wants. By the way, Amethyst Alliance, they're purple. By the way, purple marbles are impossible to find. It was really hard.
They are so hard to find.
I don't even know if Bill from RML has found the purple marbles yet, or it's just.
Do purple marbles exist in real life?
They're hard, yeah, but
they do.
They're not made often. This is the color everybody wants, and it didn't just happen before because these marbles are hard to find. I don't want them to come from the existing lore. I prefer a new idea with a stronger identity.
I heard the Hazers and Raspberry Racers marbles are hard to find too, but
yeah,
they're like exclusive set, like an exclusive maker, and they went out of business for some reason.
Yeah, and a lot of marble companies go in and out of business because it's not necessarily the most in-demand thing. But anyway, lore team, bring an interesting color scheme from an underrepresented lore tournament. Ladybugs could fit here, for example, but red and black may not stand out enough from currently existing teams. Returnees.
Crimson Ladies. Team Crimson Ladies. The Crimson Ladies.
No. These 2 teams had very short-lived ML campaigns. It's time to give them a proper shot. Blackjack's demand for this team is very high. I agree because there's no all-black marbles, so that'd be cool. And they have good contrast from everybody in the solid color department. Exactly. Maybe we'll see them rule the funnels. Golden Orbs, personal favorite, missed out on qualification for 2018 and look awesome under the lights. I do agree. Those 2 teams would be nice. I think Team Plasma would be nice too, as long as there's no stupid blue plastics or green gang or whatever. I would be very upset if any of those teams come back.
Like Blackjack and Golden Orbs had a lot of potential too. Like I thought they had a lot of potential. Like if they didn't reject the invitations to compete in the Hubalino tournament, I think they would have qualified for like at least one Marble League.
Possibly. Extra opinion about an unusual possibility. I believe there are great concepts and colors from the 2019 fan team contest. I'll be very surprised if any of them make it to the new league. The chances are very low unless we have a strong and unexpected push for any of them. Also, I don't think that would make much sense to bring them back without any participation from the creators, who most of them don't take part in the community anymore. True. If they're going to want to run a fan team contest, they need to reboot it and allow for new teams. Honestly, I don't know if that's even the best idea. Unless they provide
fan team
better
contest
guidelines.
Is the worst idea ever made. Like never do the fan team contest ever again.
I'm not 100% against it, but I'm not 100% for it. I think those are some pretty interesting opinions.
One of the fan team contest teams is just gone. One of them is gone, and the other one is so bad, and they're turning into a meme of itself.
Yeah. But then again, it just so happened that the 2 fan teams were absolute garbage. Other teams might have been better.
This is why
it makes sense with lore for the 2 fan teams to be crap, but you would have hoped that one of them would have kind of shown a little bit.
Maybe the Hornets. The Hornets had a chance and they blew it.
Well, they had many chances and they did bad too much.
Yeah.
All right.
But retiring them too early, it just proves that the fan team contest was a failure and shouldn't have happened. Like, what's the point of a fan team contest? They're just going to leave.
That is what they made it look like.
The optics are bad.
All right, so the final email for today...
They could put in the Red Pandas. The Red Pandas are Knights of the Round. They could be in the Marble League instead, and it would also flop. So, no matter which fan team they'll go in, their results will be the same.
For sure. All right. So last thing we're going to do. So last email trivia question from Richard Hinckley. So we're going to answer this one. October 4th. I know, right? And then we'll take it out for today. We'll always go long. Even when there's nothing to talk about, we always go long. So here we go. Name the 3 teams that won 2 gold medals in Marble League season and then failed to qualify for the next Marble League. If you want to name the years, and if you really want to name the events. Fuck.
Jeez.
I'll do years and teams. So there's 3 teams. So basically there's 3 teams who got
Jungle Jumpers. I know that one of them is the
League,
Jungle Jumpers.
And then didn't qualify next time, so.
I know one of them is the Jungle Jumpers.
I would be inclined to say one of the teams that didn't qualify this year, like Savage Beaters. I mean, no, Midnight Wisp or Galactic. Because one of them probably had 2 gold medals in 2020, right?
Maybe Midnight Wisps,
Maybe?
Guess, or
Maybe
Team Galactic.
I would say Galactic. If you say Jumpers, I'm going with Jumpers too. And I would say...
Pinkies? No, Pinkies are no. Limers?
I would say Oceanics.
I'll say
Oceanics. They went pretty well in 2020.
Galactic, Oceanics, Jumpers. I'll go with those.
I'll go with Galactic and Midnight Wisps in 2020, and maybe Momo in 2019.
Yeah. So it'd be
Jungle Jumpers, Oceanics. I'm going to go bold and say Balls of Chaos.
That's not even a bad guess.
Jungle
honestly.
Jumpers, Oceanics, and I guess the Limers.
Oh, it wouldn't be the Limers. Limers don't get golds.
No. Like, the third one is difficult, so...
Well, Snowballs, possibly.
Snowballs. Maybe, yeah. I'll do Snowballs, like...
Alright, so you're going with Snowball. I'll go with Galactic. I think I'm going to change to Galactic, Snowballs, and Jungle Jumpers. Let's see. So it is Jungle Jumpers, Midnight Wisps... Jungle Jumpers 2019 Biathlon and Surfing, Midnight Wisps 2020 Block Pushing in Team Aquathon, and then Rojo Rollers 2016 Balancing and High Jump. How did we forget? Balancing Rollers was the first gold medal ever. Whatever.
Oh, the Rojo Rollers. They were. I completely forgot about the Rojo Rollers. Are actually pretty decent. No, they were not. Like the Rojo Rollers were bad though. The Rojo we finally qualified for the Marble League and we finished in dead last.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Rojo Rollers were a big flop this year.
Yeah.
But that was actually a pretty fun
That's
question.
why I'm not having them qualify this year. No.
That was a good trivia question, though. I like that. Thanks, Richard.
Yeah, thank you guys. All right. Well, I think that will do it for this episode. Definitely a lot of content we covered today. Tonio, thanks for coming on. As usual, your insights is interesting.
Thank you for inviting me back. I'll see you probably in a year or so. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll try to get you on as soon as we can. Again, always a pleasure. And guys, again, takeaway. Got to check out RML, and I mean, honestly, JMR's been a little hiatus, so hopefully we'll get some more content from them towards the end of this year.
Yeah. Go check out Marble Earth. Get that extra lore and support them.
Yeah. And the lore really adds to the experience. So if you have time, definitely make
read
time
the Marble Earth
that.
lore.
Exactly. So anyway, Wof, take us out for the show. Again, thank you so much, RandomTonio, for joining us.
You're welcome.
All right. Since it's my birthday, as I said at the beginning of this episode,
happy birthday!
It's time. Thank you. It's time for a birthday Wof Tune. So here is my cover of "I'm Still Here" from Treasure Planet. Roll on, Marble sports fans. I am a question to the world, not an answer to be heard, or a moment held in your arms. And what do you think you'd ever say? I won't listen anyway. You don't know me, and I'll never be what you want me to be. And what do you think you'd understand I'm a boy, no, I'm a man. You can't take me and throw me away. And how can you learn what's never shown? Yeah, you stand here on your own. They don't know me, 'cause I'm not here. And I want a moment to be real. Wanna touch things I don't feel. Wanna hold on and feel I belong. And how can the world want me to change? They're the ones that stay the same. They don't know me, 'cause I'm not here. And you see the things they'd never see. All you wanted I could be. Now you know me, I'm not afraid. And I wanna tell you who I am. Can you help me be a man? They can't break me as long as I know who I am. And I want a moment to be real. Wanna touch things I don't feel. Wanna hold on and feel I belong. And how can the world want me to change? They're the ones that stay the same. They can't see me, well I'm still here. They can't tell me who to be, 'cause I'm not what they see. Yeah, the world is still sleeping while I keep on dreaming for me. And their words are just whispers and lies that I'll never believe. And I want a moment to be real. Wanna touch things I don't feel. Wanna hold on and feel I belong. And how can they say I'll never change? They're the ones that stay the same. I'm the one now, 'cause I'm still here. I'm the one, 'cause I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still